One.
Irish Water, a systemic misery, solving Ireland's water crisis with students' social enterprise Grow Ireland. 48% of surface water bodies in Ireland are in moderate, poor or bad ecological status. Only 38% of estuaries are in good ecological health, and the percentage of high quality recreational water sites is rapidly decreasing. This is a video from catchments.ie which summarises brilliantly the depth of the problem facing Irish water systems.
The environment and pure waters. Just last year, 8.8 million tourists came here, spending €8 billion, almost $1 billion on angling alone. Our dependence on clean water has never been greater. Yet there is a problem. Our highest quality waters are disappearing. 30 years ago, we had almost 500 water bodies classified as Q5, the very highest quality. But now that number is down to 21. Different catchments face different threats. As upland habitats face clear felling and burning, we lose the natural filters that these ecosystems provide. Poorly managed farm waste gets into rivers and lakes. Illegal waste and chemical dumps poison our rivers. Invasive species like the Himalayan balsam colonize riverbanks. Peat bogs, once harvested, discharge sediment into rivers, and we also lose the natural flood protection that bogs provide. We depend on our catchments for our water, but now they also depend on us. Healthy catchments are vital to keep the clean water flowing. Round Ireland, community groups and sports clubs are getting proactive, informing themselves and taking action. And so could you. Go to catchments.ie to find out more.
Intensive farming practices in Ireland use nitrogen and phosphorus-rich fertilisers, which have detrimental downstream effects on water quality and recreational uses of lake and river ecosystems. So how does this affect water quality? Fertilisers cause rapid growth of algae and bacteria, which feed on phosphorus and nitrogen. Disproportionate algal blooms caused by agricultural waste can eventually starve a water source of its oxygen supply, and phosphorus and nitrogen inputs are only increasing in recent decades. So how does this affect the public? This can lead to regular beach closures in coastal communities due to bacteria runoff from agricultural runoff, the depletion of fish stocks in rivers and estuaries, and increases in E. coli infection rates. Runoff rates are exacerbated by the lack of afforestation and biodiversity on Irish farms and land adjacent to Irish waterways called catchments. Just 11% of Ireland's landmass is covered by trees, of which only 2% are native species. In 2017, 51% of all trees planted in Ireland were Sitka spruce, a non-native tree planted for commercial afforestation, which causes soil degradation through the formation of clay pans, and clay pans increase the rate of water runoff above and below the soil.
My name is Sinead Jones. I'm from Wales originally, but I've lived here 32 years. Yeah, I've been cutting down spruce in this beautiful place and replacing it with native trees. I've been doing it for a long time. I've been doing it for years, but the trees have been successful. I put a lot of effort into it. And now I'm being prosecuted for criminal damage to their spruce trees and theft of their spruce trees from the logs that I took, that I processed myself. And yet I have left behind all these beautiful broadleaf trees. And I feel that the real criminal damage in this situation is the hundreds of acres of monoculture spruce that obliterate biodiversity. And the broadleaf trees, we should have broadleaf trees. These forests shouldn't be just spruce. It's important for all these big companies to give something back to nature, to give something to the environment. That in every area, every forest should have some of that forest allocated to a patch of broadleaf woodland that would be left, that wouldn't be felled, that would just be left for nature, because, you know, we need it.
Now, while we can't go around on farmers' lands planting trees as we like, there are key areas that can be targeted for native species afforestation, such as along hedgerows that separate farms, along the banks of rivers, and within coil-chown forests where sick spruce trees dominate. The root systems of hedgerows and trees regulate the movement of water through the landscape. They absorb and recycle nutrients and stop sediment from moving downslope, preventing excess siltation and the clogging of riverbeds. The business purpose for solving this misery relates to public health and safety, tourism, national pride, Irish afforestation requirements under the Paris Agreement, and the ecological health and safety of Irish water and aquatic habitats. The consequences of runoff and excess water pollution can clearly be seen in this aerial footage of Ballybunion, which has recently lost its blue flag status due to excess water running off from agriculture and wasting the beach. Accountability is the main issue in the current Irish water crisis, and there have been no concerted efforts to connect the relevant stakeholders under one galvanised initiative. This is where Grow Ireland will individualise itself. Grow Ireland will operate as a student-led social enterprise geared towards aligning the relevant stakeholders involved in Ireland's water crisis. With the Grow Ireland app, the Irish population will be able to follow, support and engage with these issues on a constructive and collaborative social media platform. Options to fund initiatives, support farms who partner with Grow Ireland, as well as join events hosted by Grow Ireland will all be available through the app. By bringing stakeholders together into one common online forum, Grow Ireland will enable the conversations and cooperation needed for Ireland's water crisis to be solved. At Grow Ireland, it is our fundamental belief that no single organisation is responsible for the resolution of this ethical misery. Therefore, we have decided to make ourselves the glue that binds the cooperative effort to restore the health of Ireland's ecosystems. I'll now pass over to Hazel, who will discuss the business model design as well as funding opportunities.
Thank you, Finbar. Considering the range of stakeholders, our organisation will adopt a horizontal network structure to allow for more efficient and free-flowing communication. We will consist of a social media and marketing team, an apps team, and an operations team, which will all be self-managed. We will be partnering with the Trinity School of Engineering, the Earth Science Department, Environmental Society, Surf Society, and the Geography Society. Some of our apps features will include, next slide please. Some of our apps features will include a debates forum tab to help connect and mobilise local stakeholders, a news section with monthly newsletter and progress updates, a GoFundMe tab where users can follow the initiatives and choose to fund sites of their choice, a volunteering options tab, and an events tab where you can gain access to our ticketed events through Eventbrite. So in serving our stakeholders, the app will provide a platform for stakeholders to connect and debate real-time issues via the discussion boards tied to local county councils. There will also be an interactive map of Ireland with environmental statistics such as surface water quality, the percent of public land with native woodland, and the number of farms partnered with Grow Ireland. It will provide an avenue for Irish people to participate and engage with these discussions. It'll provide opportunities for farmers to request funding for native planting projects and contact representatives of Culture Ireland. And it will provide longitudinal data on the development of Ireland's woodlands by partnering with our TCD partners. So with regards to funding, we are looking at a range of options such as tiered app membership packages, sponsorship through charity events and working with Trinity partner companies, competing for a sponsorship through Enterprise Ireland and Launchbox, and we also hope to get advertising from sustainable brands in the future. I'll now hand you back over to Finbar, who's going to conclude.
So for Grow Ireland to succeed in its mission, it cannot afford to bite off more than it can chew. First, we have to test the viability of the business. Can we build sustainable social networks through the Grow Ireland app platform? What is the percentage take up among farmers? And what is the support from local county councils? Grow Ireland will focus its efforts on one local county council in its opening year, specifically the Ballybunion area of Kerry County Council, in an attempt to restore the blue flag status of the beach by reducing pollution in the River Feel. Operating from its administrative HQ in Trinity, the student startup will begin onboarding farmers, Culture Ireland representatives, and local county councillors within the Ballybunion constituency, in addition to farmers and landowners who own land that is drained by the River Feel. Our backup location, if the venture fails, is Lahinch, County Clare, an area where we would also look to scale up our operations should the venture succeed, as it also suffers from regular beach closures and relies heavily on tourism in the summer. On behalf of everyone at the team, I would like to thank you for listening, and we will see you in 2022.